What it do, golf fans? Welcome back to the $10 Golf Podcast. This is Liam. Alongside me is a half awake Jack. He had a long day. Let's just say that.
Still
Uh,
going.
it's still going, 100%. Oh, Jack, we played the Wyndham Championship. It was about as good of a non-elevated event can be
Yeah, it was
in the
pretty awesome
sense.
week.
What did you think of the week?
Yeah, it was awesome because it meant something, right? I,
Yeah,
I like these tournaments, and we talked about it at the beginning of the year, and I know it was a big thing. It was all these events, like the first 7, 8 weeks of the year. No one predicted anything. These guys came out of nowhere, and they were winning by 3, 4 shots. So, like, come 3 p.m. on Sunday, like, all right, you know, John Stamos won. All right, I'm going to go watch baseball or whatever, whatever the case is.
yeah.
I
Go
don't even
watch
know
my
who
go
John
watch my
Stamos
kid.
is, by the way.
He's an actor. He's an
Oh,
actor.
okay, good.
So,
Because I heard it in a work chat and I was making sure he's not like a murderer or something. Shout out
no,
John Stamos. You're a
no.
great
Full
actor, my man.
Full House. Have you?
Never seen it.
All right, never
Um,
mind. Sorry, I asked. No, he's a good person. He in terms of people to pick. There's a
good.
lot of worse actors,
Well,
but
but like the same, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now it's 3 p.m. Sunday, and you have Clanton, edging, not pushing, but edging. You
yeah,
have Rio Hisasune, who, if he had any short game and he looked like Victor Hovland out there from last year. JJ Spawn 6 under. Grazerman should have won, but he choked worse than Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth and some guy eating spaghetti without chewing. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
even Cam Young was competitive for a little while there. He fell off on basically the
He
last.
couldn't control his irons, dude. They kept just spinning
Yeah,
off the green.
yeah. So we haven't talked about it yet. Aaron Rye actually
Oh
won
yeah,
this past weekend. We didn't say any of that, but Aaron Rye beat Max Grazerman, who Grazerman had a 4-stroke lead with 3 holes left.
I was okay with it. I live bet him.
Yeah, I
Rye.
admittedly I was quite heavily on both Grazerman and Aaron Rye, a little more on Rye than Grazerman, so I wasn't mad. But here, I'll quickly get into it because as much as last week was fun, and the weather played a huge factor, kind of like I said, we are starting to get into the playoffs, so we're gonna push things along this
Ramp
week.
it up. You guys already know the drill.
Yeah. Some notable guys missed cut last week: Eric Van Reen, Cam Davis, Michael Thorbjornsen, Steven Yeager, Siwoo Kim, Lucas Glover, Will Zalatoris, Minwoo Lee, Thomas Dietrich, Nikolai Hoyard, Thorbjorn Olesen, Ryan Fox, Akshay Bhatia, Shane Lowry, Jordan Spieth, Robert McIntyre.
Hot take. Is Will Zalatoris a big name anymore? A big draw anymore?
Hot take: Jordan Spieth is a shell of his former self until he fixes his wrist. He's got to go get surgery on that guy. I don't know what he's doing,
Well, that's okay. Well,
dicking around. He's been needing that surgery for like a year, and he keeps on playing it off.
let me just say this about sports, and this goes for like every sport in general. It's like once athletes leave their peak, why do we crap on them? I guess I literally just did that 45 seconds ago.
Yeah, you just did it with
Will
Zalatoris.
So
I'm just
he
saying
had like
it with.
okay. Here's the thing about Will Zalatoris though. If you really break it down, Will Zalatoris had like a 6 tournament peak, and it was 6 tournaments over like 2.5 years. Like it would. Hold on, hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth was the number 1 player in the world, multi-major champion, one of the hottest golf prospects of all time, was debuting as a teenager. Justin Thomas, you could say the same thing. Will Zalatoris was just some rookie, kind of like Sam Bennett is rookie, amateur, masters, spectacular, and then just had good finishes in these events. But like 1 win and the PGA Tour is
I think part of it with Zalatoris is that he had a win and then got injured. I think if you would have just fallen off, it would have been one thing. But I think people sit there and see the injury and they're like, he has a chance to get back to his old form, which like he may. And I still love Will Zalatoris, and I hope
I'm
he does.
not dissing Will Zalatoris. I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
and
like,
I hope he does. But I
I hope
agree.
he wins.
I think in terms of big names, he might have dropped down a tier. But like if you're telling me that like Will Zalatoris isn't equal still to like a Steven Yeager,
Oh,
like
dude, Steven Yeager. No. Will Zalatoris.
yeah, I was gonna say that's why I'm like there's not that level of people that like missed the cut last
Here's
week.
the thing, though. Casual rankings and like my rankings are different because I would say Davis Thompson is higher than Will Zalatoris, but I know some Joe Schmo that's wearing cargo shorts to his tee time, only ready to pump 6 Coors Lights. Is like, Will Zalatoris is a top 5 player on tour. Max Homa is the greatest golfer ever. Like, I already know that's coming, but like,
yeah.
Anyway,
no, I get it. I get it. So, some notable guys that were low priced that we were kind of all over. Aaron Rye, who won last week. Max Grazerman, who finished second last week. We were all over Steven Yeager missing the cut, which he did. We were all over Dietrich missing the cut, which he did. And then Eric Cole, we were pretty much all over as well. He finished T7, so that was a really nice finish for him.
I would like to take credit on Dietrich, but I may have had a bet on him making the cut.
Yeah, I was very against Dietrich.
Odds were too good. The odds were too good, though.
I get it. I said he had been playing 6 straight weeks, and that was a lot of golf and then a lot of expectations. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, screw everything you're about to say. We need to talk about Matt Kuchar. What a douche. What a flat out douche. By the way, I've made some outrageous comments.
You should probably say the whole story.
I will get there.
Okay.
I've made some outrageous comments over the last 2.5 years of this podcast. Most of them are jokey. Like, there's instances where I have hated Bryson DeChambeau on a personal level because he literally went out and chewed a grounds crew team for having a driving range that was off by like 1 degree and he brought it a level. I've chewed out Patrick Reed for yelling at the PGA Tour for giving him whatever the thing is. So Matt Kuchar, to set the stage for a lot of people that don't know or just maybe reading about on Twitter, Kuchar sprinted from the 17th green to the 18th tee and drove it into the group in front of them so they could finish out darkness, right? He then gets to his second shot and says, I'm not going to play anymore because the hypothetical horn has sounded, which technically it didn't, but they don't really do it for sunsets. And so he decides, I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'll get to why I defended a little bit. But here's the reality of it. Grazerman, who was competing for the title, carried on. That's what the worst part is. That guy hit 3 shots, and he had to come back, and he forced media, he forced caddies, he forced officials, ruling, he forced the grounds crew not to be able to do anything. All of this stuff is delayed. The only thing I defend about Matt Kuchar, and I know he's worth a lot of money, but if he didn't feel comfortable with something in that kind of event where you're top, I think he finished 12th, top 15, the difference in that shot is like $150,000. Now, granted, to him, he's worth like anywhere between $25 and $45 million. That's still a good chunk of change. I don't care who you are.
I will say, I will say this. If he didn't feel comfortable about it, why the hell do you hit the tee shot?
Exactly. He had the option, but he sprinted. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't understand why he did it the way he did it. He is, for a multitude of reasons, one of my least favorite players on tour. And look, generally I can be like a little jokery about this. I just don't like the way that he is. It's the style, the way he goes about things. It just doesn't give a good look.
I mean, the Kuchar, you have the 3-headed goat here because you have this where everybody's like, dude, you weren't in contention. Yeah. You're doing, blah, blah, blah. The Mexico incident, I kind of side with him on that one for other reasons. I won't get into it. Yeah. And there's one I'll really quickly spill into. There is a private course that I won't name and I won't out anybody that Kuchar attended to. And there was a 16-year-old that was working his first day as a 16-year-old, his first day working at this pro shop. Kuchar comes in, asks for a yardage book. Kid didn't know who Matt Kuchar was, said, sir, that'll be $10, whatever it is. Kuchar goes, do you know who the F I am? The guy goes, no, sir, I don't. Kuchar takes out his wallet, takes the $20 bill, crumples it up, throws it in the kid's face, and walks out with the yardage book. Now, the only positive to that story is that head pro went out there and kicked Matt Kuchar off his course. I've heard 1,000 places try to deny that story, but there's no way 1,000 places are denying a true story. That is the truth. Screw you, Matt Kuchar.
Yeah, again.
Unless you want to play with us, then you know what, Matt Kuchar.
No. I mean, Jack, I very much would love to have like any number of guys on the PGA Tour on the podcast. I don't want Kuchar. If Kuchar wanted to come on here, I would probably pass. In all honesty, I don't have anything nice to say about the guy. So like, I don't really want him out of here.
I'd rather have Aaron Rye's caddy than Matt
Yeah,
Kuchar.
I mean, you know what? I'll say this 2 second story. I flew up to Minneapolis for work this weekend. There was a 16-year-old on my flight who was from Colorado who's like on the PGA Tour of America. He's playing oh my gosh, where's the amateur at this weekend?
It's not Kentucky, is it?
No, it's up here in Minneapolis. It's
Twin Cities?
yeah, it's up here in Minneapolis. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah, at TPC Twin Cities.
Could be. It could be. Anyways, it's up here in a really nice course. And the guy really wants to go to like Old Miss and play college golf. He's a scratch golfer. He's really good. He's going to be a junior in high school. I would take that kid and get him on the podcast. Again, I forgot his name. He told me his first name in the line to get into the airplane. I want him on the podcast before I get Matt Kuchar. I think that would be a better story. So overall, not a nice guy. If you like him, I get it. But there's nothing he's done in the past like 5 to 10 years that has been like, you know what, this makes me like Kuchar as a human being.
He's fun to watch at golf though, because he's pretty dang good. But anyway, we have sidetracked enough. You guys have heard way too much about the Wyndham Championship with screw you, Wyndham Clark too. I'm just kidding. I like Wyndham Clark. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Good guy, by the way.
Get into your DraftKings. What are we looking at?
Yes, my DraftKings lineup, because I know you guys want to hear about the playoffs. We started off with Sungjae Im, Cam Young, Kurt Kitayama, Max Grazerman, Victor Perez, and Ben Silverman. What a random collection of guys that like did really, really good and then like weirdly bad. We cracked literally the bottom spot on single entry and then like top 10 on my double up. It made no sense to me, but shout out Max Grazerman.
Yeah, I think withdrawals really hurt because there was a like 3 or 4 guys ended up withdrawing for a tournament because of the weather. For me, I had Shane Lowry, Billy Horschel, Harris English, Denny McCarthy, Andrew Novak, Ben Coles. The only one that really did good was Billy Horschel. Harris English ended up withdrawing. Lowry missed the cut. And then Ben Coles, I think, was T4 after the first day or first round and then missed the cut on the number after the second round. So that sucks. FanDuel, Jack, how'd you do?
Not great. We had Cam Young, great. Akshay Bhatia, terrible. Brian Harmon, fine. Kurt Kitayama, terrible. Denny McCarthy, fine. Ben Silverman, terrible. That was a wash.
Yes, similar for me. Most of the guys sucked. I had Lowry, Thor Bjornsson, Ben Coles, all missed the cut. I had Denny finish T33, Billy Horschel T7, and I had Aaron Rye, who ended up winning. So pretty good problem there.
Awesome.
Yep. Bets,
All
how'd
right.
you do?
Bets. We went up 1.54 units on the week, bringing us to 76.63 units up on the year. Obviously, the big highlight was Maverick McNeely to make the cut at minus 200 was a 5-unit play, which thank gosh we did that because everybody decided to F me. That didn't come out right. Bez making the cut was a winner. Keegan Bradley to make the cut was a winner. Cameron Young, top 40, was a winner. Denny McCarthy, top 54 on ties, was a winner. But hear this. Brian Harmon, top 40, was a loss. I think he was 41. Sungjae Im, top 40. I think he finished 41, was a
41.
loss. Akshay Bhatia missed the cut. Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
Like, that was just awful. But positive money. Literally, I'll just put that exact same profit on Dana White Contender Series coming out tomorrow. I'm living life, baby.
There you go. I had been having a really good sequence of betting for a while, so I kind of fell off this week. I started with 6 bets, but I ended the week with 4. Or no, I started with 5 bets, I ended the week with 4. I had Billy Horschel, top 40, minus 150. That was my lone win. I had Ben Coles, T40 at plus 160. That looked really good first day and then missed cut. I had Eric Van Reen over JT Poston. Both missed the cut, but unfortunately, JT Poston, I think, finished even. Eric Van Reen finished plus 2. Sungjae Im, top 30 is minus 150. He finished T41. And then I had Cam Davis over Minwoo Lee and Aaron Baddeley. That would have lost, but because Aaron Baddeley, I think, was even. But Aaron Baddeley ended up withdrawing after like 16 holes in the second round. So he is now listed as a withdraw. Therefore, it voided. So I went 1 for 4, lost 2.42 units on the week. So I'm currently at 9.67 units in the green. So it works. Not a pretty week, but I'm not going to win them all. It's all right. We'll boost back up hopefully this week.
All right, wild cards. I had Ben Silverman top 30. That was a loss, even though I felt good about it.
Yeah, not a bad one. I had Aaron Rye, Denny McCarthy, and Max Grazerman top 40 parlay plus 850. That was a winner. So we love hitting those winners. That was Jack and I had a point of contention, I think, last week trying to figure out if I wanted to keep that bet or get rid of Grazerman. Turns out he wasn't the one I had to worry about. It was Denny, who ended up being the closest to top 40. So
Yeah.
it worked out, though. So nice plus 850 if you followed that one for whatever.
Yeah, and jumping to winners. For the first time in 9 or 10 weeks, we haven't had a guy in the top 3. We're human. We apologize. Yeah. We're human. We make those errors. I got a winner for you this week. I had Sung JM 41 and Denny McCarthy 33rd.
Yeah, I took 2 guys because I couldn't really pick any of the top 12 guys based on how I bet or on how I pick winners. So I had Cam Davis missed the cut, Nikolai Hoyard missed the cut. I also threw out as a third guy, if you hadn't used him in the past, I said, and I quote, I would love to get to him this week, but I've already used him. So if you can, take Aaron Rye because I love him in this field. So hopefully you follow that wording and you take Aaron Rye because therefore you made a little bit of money. But unfortunately, I cannot take that as a winner's pick.
All right, let's get out of the Wyndham. It's playoffs time, baby.
Let's do it. We're going to the FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind. There's a par 70 totaling 7,250 yards. Last year's winner was Lucas Glover. Again, this was the second half of that back-to-back where Lucas Glover just went, demon mode with a putter, which is hilarious. There's only 70 golfers in the field this week. Therefore, it is a no-cut event. Top 50 in the FedEx standings at the end of the week will move on to the BMW. That'll be out in Colorado. This course favors patience, narrow fairways, small greens, and plenty of hazards. 66% of approach shots are going to be between 125 and 200 yards. You could argue that's a big data. It's honestly closer to 150 to 175, but a lot of approach shots from a mediocre range of like 150-ish yards. When looking at the data, make sure you look at course history and not tournament history because there used to be a WGC that was played here at Southwind, and then the St. Jude used to be played in like Boston and a few other spots. So when you're doing that around, or when you're looking around at some of the data, if you look at the wrong spot and you're just looking at the tournament history, it's going to point you to like 6 different courses. You want to look at the course history. And that'll just keep you at TPC
it used to be just known as the St. Jude Classic.
That too. Yeah. It used to be known as the St. Jude Classic, but the name of it has changed so many times that if you look at the wrong course, it might pull up the wrong data. So just search by course, not by tournament. Cool. All right. That's really all the data I have. There's not a ton of information on this. Putting and then off the tee and approach are going to be big this week. There's going to be some room if you're not the best around the green. But needless to say, I'll just say it off the bat, I'm still not on board Victor Hovland this week regardless. So if that tells you how around the green is still play a little bit of a factor. All right, with that, you want to jump right into the DraftKings pricing?
The 12K, no, the 10K to 12, Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, Ludwig Aubert, and Colin Morikawa. I just want to say right off the bat, 2 things. Number 1, Colin Morikawa has been playing some illustrious golf and had his first hiccup at the Olympics where he finished 24th. He's doing fine. He's coming into an event where he's beaten that all 4 times with an average finishing placement of 16. But I think there's one guy better, and his name is Ludwig Aubert, and I think he is winning this event.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Ludwig was the one guy I kind of just like shrugged off here. I'm like, he'll be fine. I don't know if he'll win, but like I like Morikawa over him.
He's winning.
Okay, interesting. Again, this is arguably a ball striker's paradise. I'm all over Morikawa. You mentioned it. He has played here 4 times, finished no worse than 20. Oh, he finished 26th. Okay. He's hit the ball extremely well here as he averages 3.7 strokes ball striking at TPC Southwind. I'll talk about some of the other guys too. You have Rory, who's played Southwind 7 times. Finishes of T3, miscut, T12, T47, T4, T7, and T29. Also been spectacular when it comes to ball striking all season. And generally, Rory's done quite well in courses that aren't majors. So even though it's a playoff tournament or a playoff event, this will definitely be the type of event that I think Rory could win on. Xander Schauffele, well, it makes sense to basically put him in every week. This may be the one event that I can give a little bit of weariness to.
He's only got one top 10 here.
Yeah, yes. He's
six tries.
Six trips to the event. He's got one top 10 finish and has lost strokes ball striking in 4 of them. It is an extremely big outlier. He is a different golfer. He's finally won tournaments this year. But just if we're looking at those minute little details, him being the second most expensive golfer probably gives me just enough to avoid him in this range and let other people take a chance just based on name value.
But here's my counter to that. I understand why you would say that. But here's the thing with Scottie Scheffler too. Scottie Scheffler's played this event 5 times and has 0 top 10 finishes. He's got 2 top 15s, but he's also missed the cut in 1. His average finishing placement is over 40th here. So $1,000 more expensive than Xander, $1,300 more than Rory, and $2,400 more than Colin Morikawa, who you like.
Yeah.
And by the way, for anybody that's watching the odds, his finishing placement, depending on which book you play on, you may have like 3rd or better, 4th or better.
Is it 4th? Is that what it is? Is that what he's at?
Right now, it's 4th or better. Yeah. So you're in. Granted, I know this is Scottie Scheffler we're talking about, but for $12,400 and a no-cut event of 70 guys, that is extreme.
Yeah. Again, this might be the week to just leave Scottie and Xander out of it. In terms of DFS, I hate saying that. I have a gut feeling they will both probably play solid this week. But I think the other 3 guys probably give you better upside.
I'm with you.
As far as at least on a price, like a price point perspective. So cool. With that, into the 9K range we go. Tommy Fleetwood, 9,800, all the way down to Russell Henley at 9,000.
Yeah, a couple guys in here I like. Patrick Cantlay, I think he has played okay in this event. He's got a runner-up and then a 12th place finish. The reason his price is so inflated. Now, there's 2 things. One, he's looked actually good in the last couple weeks. So there's that.
Yep.
But everybody thinks about him, FedEx Cup playoffs. This is his major. I don't know why he just decides to pop off here. This is not the sequence of events for Patrick Cantlay until he gets to Eastlake. So I like him. I don't love him. But I do like 2 guys. One, Tommy Fleetwood, who I think is going to have a stellar week. 3rd and a 4th place finish here in 4 tries, averaging finishing placement of 22. Runner-up at the Olympics. Dominated outside of the Open Championship for the last 15 weeks of golf. He's been a monster. And then Hideki Matsuyama. I told you guys I had a feeling, and he won a bronze medal. I loved it. OG, that one was for you, big dog. But Matsuyama has played this event 4 times with an averaging finishing placement of 20. He's got a runner-up, 16, 20, and 43. Positive strokes gained numbers, except for, in total, 0.18 loss on the putter, which you don't really need in this event. And especially at a 70-person field, this guy's going to be fine. There's no cut. All you got to do is play 4 rounds, which is the biggest concern for Matsuyama, and he's proven. I think he's not healthy, but he's not dying, so I like him at this spot.
Yeah, no, I like Hideki this week too. At 9,300, I think that's a pretty good number for him. You cannot explain to me how Victor Hovland is still $9,500 on here and have that make any sense in my mind. He could probably be priced at the low 8s, and I think that would make sense. But anything beyond that, I'm avoiding Hovland. I'm on board with you and Tommy Fleetwood. Strokes gain metrics, he's kind of all across the board. He's like a bargain Xander Schauffele. He's without the wins right now. On the Tommy Fleetwood side, so I'm a big fan of that. I agree with you on Hideki. He's quite similar to a Fleetwood, but again, he just doesn't necessarily have all of the putting streakiness that Tommy does. Tommy's probably arguably a slightly better putter, but Hideki's arguably got just as good ball striking, if not potentially better. It's close. Hideki is on fire with ball striking right now. And I'm not saying all time. I'm saying short term. I know it's an aggressive take, but the metrics go crazy for Hideki. I'll talk about Corey Connors as well. He's gained with the putter in 5 of his last 7 starts. He's never done that in his career. He's also coming into form and definitely has the type of week that could end up getting him to win if he keeps the putter hot. I know you're still reeling from the approach and the ball striking.
God, we're gonna lose so much credibility with the golf purists in the world.
To be fair, when I look
Are you
at
talking
data,
about this year?
I'm talking the last 36 rounds. You don't have to like it. I understand, but I looked at the data, and they're right next to one another.
Eyeball test. That's all you need, baby.
I,
No,
I,
I'll give
I
you
understand the eyeball test looks like Tommy's better, and because of that, he's priced $400 or $500 more. But just know they're basically identical.
I'm not happy about it.
I know you don't have to be. It's okay. I understand. All right. So what you like? Basically just Fleetwood and Matsuyama in this range.
I think you can.
And Cantlay.
I like Cantlay. I don't love Cantlay. I like the other 2 guys better.
Got it. I'm the same way. Fleetwood and Matsuyama, and then I like Corey Connors. So
that's a ball striker.
Yeah, that is a ball striker. Into the 8K range we go. Tom Kim at 8,900, all the way down to Shane Lowry at 8,000.
Okay, a couple guys. Number 1, get Sung JM in your lineup. 41st, the Wyndham Championship. Actually, it was played really well until Sunday. I don't know what happened. Prior to that, 7, 4, 12, 3, miscut at a major. 8, 9, miscut at a major. 4, 12. Like, this guy has been on a tear. 70-person field, 8,700. One of the, I don't even want to say ball strikers anymore because that's just, my head is in the clouds right now from what you just said. But he's just awesome. He's on a tear. I think he's really good at 8,700. I think it's impossible to avoid Aaron Rye. Now, granted, he sucked in this event, like genuinely has sucked. But guy is a mission, and he's been as accurate as I've ever seen him, and he led the green and regulation last year. Cam Young, another guy, he is coming back into form. His last 4 starts have been tremendous after a rocky start, so I'm continuing with him. Both of his starts here have been 31st in 2 tries. And then Sahith Segal, I think, is going to be sneaky. I really do. Ball striker.
Okay, interesting. I am not on board. I am not on board with Cam Young. Putter is not going for him right now. And he's managed to make it work by having competitive rounds otherwise. But when it comes to it, he's lost strokes putting in 8 of his last 9 starts.
That's all right.
I know, but like, I don't like the upside of Cam Young when he loses putting as much as he has been. It just looks awful. JT, I'm going to basically just let him hang out for the rest of the year because I get it. He has these streaky weeks where we think he has a chance. And then thank God he's in the he's in the championship this year. Last year he did not make it, if you remember. But I'm going to let him hang out and let other people get to Justin Thomas. Billy Horschel is a sneaky option. He's been playing some of the best golf, arguably, of his career the past few weeks. He also seems to be walking around with a little bit of like Billy Ho swagger, which is a nice touch. And he's, it's kind of funny. He looks like he's a good golfer now. He's got that like confidence that he hasn't had for a while. Billy Horschel.
Billy Horschel, fun fact, also has the number 1 rated on the TPC Southwind.
There you go. Yeah, he gained.
Although I hope he misses the cut in a no cut event.
He gained 5.5 strokes gained ball striking last week at Wyndham, by the way, too, just for fun. So, I think that'll be an interesting option.
Justin Thomas is number 2.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, I totally get going back to Aaron Rye, by the way, as well, because he won last week and he's on such a heater. But I think personally, I just don't know if I can fit him in price point wise.
I agree with that.
Cool. All right, next
7K range.
Go for it.
We have Wyndham Clark at 7,900, all the way down to Min-Woo Lee, the most overrated golfer on the PGA Tour this year, and I come that with all due respect.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones in this range for sure. Matt Fitzpatrick, 7,800. He withdrew at the Olympics due to a hand issue. anytime it's a hand and it's golf related, I'm generally a little skeptical and I need like a few weeks to kind of like see how it goes. So that's more or less told me that like I'm staying away from Matt Fitzpatrick for the rest of the season or until the end of the championship, just because like it's a hand issue. You need good hands to grip a golf club. Like it's a thing.
No.
I know.
You
I
watch
know.
Happy Gilmore? You don't need hands.
True. You can just like, just use your mouth or something to grip a golf club. Why not? What can go wrong? I don't know. I just try to think of
You
something.
know what I'm talking about?
Maybe not. I don't know. What do you mean? Are you talking about his putter with the hockey stick? What are you saying? Oh, you're talking about Chubbs. Oh. That took me. Sorry, that wasn't the most.
Do not cut this. Oh my god.
That wasn't the most descriptive timing of all time. I didn't know you were talking about Chubbs with the fake hand.
You were talking about okay.
You said Happy Gilmore. I immediately thought of the Adam Sandler specific. I'm like, what about his golf swing is similar to involving his hands? He's a hockey player. But no, I forgot that you were talking the movie as a whole with Chubbs. Whatever. Jordan Spieth simply running out the clock to have surgery this offseason. I'm avoiding him. I think he's not going to be here this week. He might finish top half, but it doesn't really matter. Just avoid him and save yourself the headache. Davis Thompson has gained both ball striking as well as putting in 6 of his last 7 starts, with the lone miss being the Open Championship. I'll take that being his lone miss. His price point is great for an arguably top 20 golfer in the past 36 rounds. So I know it's a bold take, but you did just say you think he's better than Will Zalatoris. So
yeah, you're saying he's not?
No, I'm saying he's arguably a top 20 golfer in the world right now in the last 36 rounds.
In the world?
I know. It's a bold take, but I think it's close.
Maybe. But I'll tell you who to avoid. Maxwell Homa.
You
know, he's played this event 7 times. How many times do you think he's finished top 40?
Oh, it's like twice or something like that.
Once.
Right? Once? Yeah, there you go.
Terrible. Absolutely garbage. I love you, Max Homa. Come back, please. I do like Jordan Spieth this week. And I'm hoping for a recovery Jordan Spieth because Jordan Spieth has played really well here in history. I think that, obviously, like you said, it's a scary spot to be in. 7,700 for a guy that can be very consistent and has played here many times and played well. I actually don't hate it. I think next year will be the proving year, though. Now, that's a future conversation, but I'm actually not mad at Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it if you want to get to him. I've just basically mentally turned off Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas in my DFS lineups until I see it from them consistently, at least, or semi-consistently.
Yeah.
I will talk about it. Wyndham Clark is 7,900. I don't love him specifically, and he's probably one of the least liked golfers currently in the tour because of the whole Olympics situation. But he does have
not his fault.
No, and I completely agree. It's unfortunate, just a factor in the fact that he made it, and a lot of people thought Bryson did in his spot. It's a whole thing. But he does have 3 top 15 finishes in his last 4 starts. The first round of the Olympics looked awful, and a bunch of people, including us, probably trash talked him a little too much.
I was ready to urinate on
him. He did lose in all statistical strokes gained categories, but rounds 2 through 4 he played great, and he actually finished T14. He's a fairly cheap option at 7,900, and not a lot of people are going to go to him. So if you want to be different and you want a guy who probably can finish T20 at 7,900, maybe your 5th guy in your lineup.
I bet his T20 odds are really good, actually. Let me look at that.
Again, I'm not betting that he's getting T20, but I'm saying he has very good potential to finish T20 here.
All right, what's your guess on Wyndham Clark top 20? I'm going to say plus 225.
Yeah, give me like plus 300.
180.
No shot. Yeah.
You only have to beat 2/3 of the field.
I understand that, but like he barely finished T20 in the Olympics, and that was a weaker field than this. The bottom end is a weaker field than this. In the Olympics?
I was going to say, if you were about to say that this field is better than the Olympics, I was about ready to get in a car and drive.
It's the bottom end. Come on, people, read between the lines here. We're all smart. We know what we're doing.
I'm not smart.
All right, well, that's fair. All right. Any other thoughts on the 7K range, or are we dumping right into the 6?
Let's dump into the choke artist of 2024, Rory McIlroy, you are forgiven. Max Grazerman all the way down to Peter Malnati, which still kind of concerned that he got in through the Valspar, but I guess that's what happens.
Yeah, I was say, is that how he's getting in all these fields? The Valspar? That's
I mean,
what he.
basically with points, if you win, you're gonna make it.
That's awful. That's awful. We need to change that somehow.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's like you win and you get it. It's not like the Masters, but it's you get so many points.
But like that why is Peter Malnati in the respectfully in the playoff? That just shouldn't.
I'll crap on him as a bucket hat. Anyway, though, Max Grazerman has been on the best streak of golf that's not a household name since like the middle of June. His worst finish since the U.S. Open was 31 and has progressively got better every single week, back-to-back runner-ups. Granted, not the best of fields, but now we're in a no-cut event at 6,900. That's a really good one there. I like Maverick McNeely in this spot again. This is a course, much like John Deere, that I said he should have a field day with. And then at the John Deere Classic, he decided to like play baseball or something. But he has played this course before. He played it one time, and he finished 31st with positive measures almost everywhere except off the tee. He almost lost a shot around off the tee, which is just wild. But I do like him in this spot. I do think Eric Cole has been streaking in really positive numbers lately. He's played this finishing 31st last year. I think he looked really good at the Wyndham. And then are we about to ignore the fact that Denny McCarthy is 6,500?
I was curious if you're going to get to him.
Of course we're going to get to him. Oh my gosh. His worst finish in a non-major and at an event in the U.S. since March is 33rd. And it was last week. And now we're in a no-cut event with 70 people with one of the best putters of this class. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, you have a few of the same guys. Again, Max Grazerman has gone back-to-back second places. His game's on point. I totally get going back to him. I also get if you think he's going to fall off and you don't want to play him this week. I understand that as well. Do I agree with you? No, but I understand if that's a model and a play you want to go for. You have Eric Cole, who's arguably back in his best form. He finished T7 last week, and I don't know if I ever saw a shot of Eric Cole's. Did you see a single shot of his, even though he finished T7?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not see very much of his golf shots, but that works. So yeah, his last 5 starts have been spectacular, and I like him as a 6th guy in your lineup this week with some T20 upside. There's Ben Griffin. He's gained in strokes gained approach in 9 straight tournaments. Machine in the ball striking department and struggles to get off the tee. He is one of the good options in the 6K range if you need to get somebody in that lower range because you want to go get like a Scotty or anybody else, if that's the route you want to go on. And the last guy I'll mention is really kind of a flyer. Again, if you want to get a couple guys at the top, Seamus Power. Seamus Power is like pretty much a consistently minimum price golfer. So he's going to finish probably T40, T35, not doing anything too flashy, but he's going to get middle of the road. And if you can get him as a T35 in order to get 4 or 5 other golfers to be T15s or better, then you're ecstatic. So we'll take it. He's gained with his irons in 4 of the last 6 tournaments, which is great, and he's gained with the putter in 3 of the last 6. So he has consistency to do quite well there. So.
Awesome. I apologize for it. Whatever. If you're watching,
computer was dying.
No. Well, yes, but I had the Mac plugin, but it was charging my phone, and I thought it was the plugin. I'm an idiot. I'm not a Mac guy.
I can tell. All right. With that, let's get into DraftKings lineups.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I literally do not. And that goes for both my DFS lineups. I'm prefacing for the first time in Turn Dog Golf podcast history, you might not want to tail this lineup. It's got a high upside, terrible floor. We have Ludwig Aubert, 10,200. Tommy Fleetwood, 9,800. Sahith Theegala, 8,600. Aaron Rai, 8,200. Eric Cole, 6,700. And Denny McCarthy, 6,500.
Oh my God, yeah, I don't know.
Because here's the thing, though. Aubert, I think, is going to win. Yeah. Sahith, if he can just get it on the green, he's going to finish top 30. All he has to do is get it on the green.
That's a big if for Sahith this year.
Rye has been one of the most consistent golfers of the entire year.
Yep.
McCarthy, a hilarious upside. Like, that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, you're relying a lot on the upside. Sahith's the scary one there for me. I don't know if I really like my lineup either, but I have a. To be fair, I'm trash talking yours.
And this is why you guys should watch this.
No, I mean I look, I do it. I think mine has some opportunities too, but there are some nerves. Rory McIlroy 11,100, Colin Morikawa 10,000, Billy Horschel 8,500, Davis Thompson 7,400, Max Grazerman 6,900, Seamus Power 6,100.
Nice. Now here's the lineup I really like. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I lied earlier when I said don't do my FanDuel. I think I like my FanDuel.
Okay.
Ludwig Gobert 11,500, Tommy Fleetwood 11,100, Sung J M 10,100, Cam Young 9,800, Aaron Rye 9,500, Danny McCarthy 7,800. Totally no overlap.
Interesting. And yeah, that's a funny one. For my FanDuel, I switched it up a little. I have Scotty Scheffler 13,200, Colin Morikawa 11,800, Hideki Matsuyama 10,800, Davis Thompson 8,900, Eric Cole 7,900, Seamus Power 7,300. So I actually like that lineup a lot.
Awesome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are here into bets. And let me just say for everybody, the most common message, comment, everything I get is my bets are too safe. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm up over 76 effing units on the year for 2 years in a row. So quit your yapping and go take your money. So you guys want risky ones. I have like 14 bets. 3 of them are minuses. Nope. 2 of them are minuses. So here you go. Here's what you guys wanted. Ludwig Gobert, top 10, plus 190. Boom. Ludwig Gobert, plus 5, or top 5, plus 400. I think he's winning. Ludwig Gobert to beat Victor Hovland and Alex Noren is plus 105. Hovland is as consistent as a McDonald's chicken nugget. I haven't had one in a decade, so I don't know if they're good or not anymore. But Alex Noren's good, but he's not. He's not putting himself into contention how he was during that stretch. Tommy Fleetwood, top 20, minus 115. Sorry, guys. Cam Young, top 30, minus 163. Sorry, guys. Maverick McNeely, top 30 is plus 110. Denny McCarthy, top 40 is minus 200. He's going to beat literally less than half the field. Come on, you have to do that. Colin Morikawa, top 10, plus 135. Sung J M, top 10 is plus 330. For a guy that's done this a number of times, I love it. Tommy Fleetwood, top 10 is plus 220. And then 0.1 units on Jordan Spieth, top 20, plus 160. I have like a weird good feeling about it, but like I wasn't more confident to put like $20 on it. You know what I mean?
I'd avoid that one. I'd just do the rest
That's
of
why
them.
I put 0.1 units.
I know. Do the rest of them. I'll leave that one be to anybody listening. All right. Is that all of them? Yeah.
I sure hope so.
Okay, good. I thought there was, but I was like,
yeah. I mean, other bets that were in contention: Eric Cole, top 30 at plus 105; Sahith Theegala, top 30 at minus 180; Patrick Cantlay, top 20 at plus 115; Colin Morikawa, 13 or better at minus 120, but at top 10 in those odds, like 60-point difference. I'm taking that.
That's fair. All right, I got 6 bets this week. First one is Christian Bezuidenhout over Eric Van Rooyen is minus 160. I have Ludwig Gobert over Hovland and Noren at plus 100, so I don't have it at the same good odds you do, but I'm
That's what happens when you lock them in at 8 a.m., baby.
Well, I also have Hideki Matsuyama over Victor Hovland at minus 120. I think that is free money. I have Xander Schauffele to finish 10th or worse at minus 120. I have Colin Morikawa top 20 round 1 at plus 110. And I have Tom Kim to finish 25th or better at minus 120.
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right. You want to go winners or wild card picks?
Let's go wild cards.
Okay.
Number one, it's a parlay. 2-person is Ludwig Gobert, top 10, Aaron Rye, top 20 parlay at plus 538. I already said I think Gobert's winning, and Rye's been on a heater. He's accurate, and he should beat 50 people in these fields. So
there you go. I have a fun one for top 40 parlay. There's a few guys I liked, but I couldn't really find a good bet on, so I just threw them all together in a top 40 parlay. So I have Colin Morikawa, Billy Horschel, Davis Thompson, Ben Griffin, and Seamus Power. Top 40 parlay is plus 310.
I can't wait till Billy Horschel ruins this.
He might, and again, that's why it's a wild card pick, because I was like, I like these guys, but I don't know where they fit into bets.
I put more money on my wild card than I did my Jordan Spieth bet.
Yeah, that's a sign, by the way, to not tail the Jordan Spieth bet.
I love Jordan Spieth. But anyway, jumping into winners, you already know my number one, Ludwig Aubert. I am now, Grant. Okay, hear me.
I would have guessed Peter Malnati, so I would have been off.
When I say like I'm confident on a winner, the reality is it's still a 1 in 70 chance he wins. Like I'm not saying that like he's gonna win. I'm putting my nards on it. I feel really confident that he's gonna ball out this week, and I love it. And it's like 25-1 odds on average. Like it's ridiculous. People think Scotty's gonna run away with this, which he can.
He
but
might.
Like 25-1 odds on this, I put way too much dough on that. Besides the point. Number two, I was really, really torn between Eric Cole and Sahith Theegala, but I do think Sahith Theegala has a higher upside. Eric Cole's been very consistent in the playing, but I do think Sahith Theegala, like we talked about, he just has to get the ball in the green, and he gives himself a chance if he plays average at top 30, and if he can make 30% of putts in a proximity of like 45 feet. That's top 10.
Yeah, that's fair. For my winners this week, I'll be quick. I just picked two guys I hadn't really picked yet. I think I had used one of them in like a group setting, but I hadn't used them individually. So hopefully, if it didn't work, sorry. It's close. My winners this week, Corey Connors and Adam Scott. So again, Corey Connors for the ball striking. Adam Scott actually just plays really good. What?
For the looks?
I mean, yeah, that too, but also just because he like plays really good at TPC South.
I'm gonna make an all sexy DraftKings lineup: Austin Eckroat, Adam Scott.
Ooh, there's some good ones in there.
Justin Rose.
Yeah. There's a few.
Rory McIlroy.
Oh, Rory's a good one.
Spieth.
Yeah, Spieth now gives like young dad, like a little scruffy beard vibes, but yeah, he fits it.
Now, would you go Ludwig or would you go Colin Morikawa?
See, Ludwig looks like he's like 16 though, so like I would go Morikawa because Morikawa was one of the names came up in my mind, but I'm sure there's somebody else.
Or would you go Peter Malnati?
Decisions.
Well, if you want to see a fun TikTok, I'll be doing my all sexy lineup. You know what? I'm going to start doing an all sexy versus all ugly lineup.
Hey, what about does Cam Young fit? Nah.
No, Cam Young's got that. This is not an insult.
Yep.
He does not trim his flow. His beard is overgrown by Sunday, and he always looks cranky. So, like, if you're asking me for resting average face, Cam Young does not fit the mold.
What about Hovland?
No, because if he showed up to a first date wearing one of those weird shirts, you'd be like, oh god.
Okay, so that's less of his looks and more of the attire that he wears. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, let's leave it there at that. This was the FedEx St. Jude. Next week we've got the BMW out in Colorado. We're just chugging along. A couple weeks left in the season. Then we got a few week break, and then we start in a new event. I want to say next in the fall. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say it's like the Pontomon or something like that. What the heck is the event called? Or the Procure Championship.
Sorry, I'm looking at golfers right now, determining if they're attractive or not.
You have fun with that. I'm sure you're.
Oh, Hideki Matsuyama. Duh.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Good looking guy.
Tom Kim.
But you have to make the argument. He looks like he's 15.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's fair. So no. All right. BMW next week.
Oh,
follow us.
Wyndham Clark. Oh, so many options.
That's a good one too. All right. I'll say this. If you're curious, follow us on TikTok. Jack's going to send out his all sexy man lineup. And then next week we'll be back for the BMW Championship in Colorado. We will leave you there. Deuces.